Hey, welcome to Mike's Trains, and thanks for joining me for another video. As you can see, I've gotten this whole thing painted, and I think it came out pretty good. I'm really happy with it. I actually got a green color. We painted the whole green. I did all the silver trim around here. It's looking really good. I'm very happy with it. And then I cut another piece. This is a piece of the corrugated that's going to go right here. So this is the look we're going for once we get all this in. Give you an idea of how that's going to be. So that'll go something like that. So where do we go from here? Well, here's a little warning. Just fair warning. I'm gonna go deep in this. If you're not interested in the interiors and things like that, you just want to do something simple, this is probably not the video for you. After doing the train station that I did, I kind of want to see how far I can go with this and how much I can do. So I'm going to build these interiors. And that's what we're going to look at this week. Last week I told you I was going to do the interiors, and they were going to be a combination of photo backdrop inside as well as some three-dimensional. Well, that's what I'm going to deal with this week. And I've already started on some of this stuff, and I'm going to show you how I built all this. But what I have, and this is all for this cell phone store right here, okay? I have the sales counter right here. And if you look at it, there's the glass case right there. There's the counter on top, and this is the whole dimensional countertop that's going to go inside. I have another display. This is a wall display, and this is a cell phone case display. Okay, so this is all for the cell phone cases. This is going to go off to the side, probably over like this. And then I've also built the wall that goes behind the case here, and that's going to be this. And this would be the wall display of all the cell phones. Okay. So I'm going to show you how I built all of this and what this is, what it's going to look like when it's in. And I also have a floor that I built for inside of here. So let me pull this a little closer. And what we have is this. Here's the wall that goes in the back, like this. Now I have to do all the mounting for it all, but here's the sales counter, and here's a side display for the cell phone cases. So this will go like this. Something about like that. And because my fingers are fat, I have to use tweezers to get in here, but this is what we're looking at. And then when you look inside, let's see if I can bring this up and closer to the camera. So if we can bring this up in here, you can kind of see what we're looking at. So that's what we have. Alright. And then I have a floor that's going to go along the bottom of this. There you go. That'll go along the bottom to brighten this up a little bit more. And then we're going to do like a wallpaper on both sides just to brighten it up. I'll probably put those as white so that you can see. There you go. Alright. And that's what we're looking for. And then we'll put a couple people in there and put the glass in the windows. And then I have some window signs that I went and got from the internet. And that's pretty much a done interior. Alright, and then the lighting will go across the top down both sides of this. We'll come this way and we'll hang the lights over into this area, and we'll bring another strip down this side, hang the lights into this area so that this area gets lit as well. So again, we're going to look at how I did all of this. So there's the back wall, cell phone case display, and a counter. And then the floors I printed out a whole bunch of those, and that's right here. Here's a black and white checkerboard pattern. This is a light, sort of a light blue carpet. Here's a darker blue carpet, and then here is a tile, just a gray tile. And these are on sticker paper. I went out to like a Staples. Actually, I was at Walmart, and I saw they had sticker paper there, so I bought a pack of that, and that's what I'm printing these on, because I've used it in the past. I use like this stuff, glue sticks, and I'll print it on regular paper, and I'll rub this all over it and stick it down, but it has a tendency to peel up. So we're going to use sticker paper, and that's how I stuck this one to this piece here. This is sticker paper, and I had a bigger sheet. This is 10 thousandths thick styrene, and I stuck it into two sides of the corner, lined it up and stuck it down, and then I cut out the styrene and all out of the styrene. And then all I'm going to do with this is the same as I did with this one. I took a little piece of balsa wood and I stuck it to the back, and then what I'll do is I'll put some CA on here and just stick it where I want it to be. And that's all we're going to do. The same with this one. I'll put the wood across the back, or styrene, you could use anything really. Put it across the back, CA, stick it on here, and then you can stick this down wherever you want it to be. And then this will just get CA'd down on top of the flooring. Now the floor in this one here, I want it to be this light colored blue. Okay, so this is going to go in here, and all I'll do is I'll cut this off, so it fits the right size, and we'll peel the backing off and stick it right down to the floor. What I wanted to do in this video is show you how I made all of these different things here to the right scale. I thought it would be interesting, and I'm going to use software that I've used in the past. Some people came back and they commented they don't like the software, they don't think it works, they can't figure out how to do anything with it. It's the Model Train software. And I just want to, this full disclaimer ahead of time is I'm not getting paid to push their products. I haven't even talked to them. They don't know I do this, or I'm going to do this. I get nothing from them for it. I'm doing this because I think it's a valuable software, and I think it's very good, and it's very useful to do different things with. So that's why I'm going to do this, and this will be the last time I do a video with this stuff. To show how to use this, but I will show you how to get these images in there, how to size them up and get them printed. So why don't we go open up the software and take a look at it from there. Okay, so here we are on the desktop, and let's look at a little bit at what I've done ahead of this. So you see I've got files here on my desktop, these ones right here. I have a dry cleaner, pet store, cell phone, comic book store, and floors. These files are, what I did was I went onto the internet, I did a Google search for interiors for each of these type stores, and I found images that I wanted to keep, and what I did was I copied all the images that I liked to these folders so that I have them, floors as well. And now I'm ready to go into the program and start building our stuff. So let's open the Model Train software program, which is right here. We'll open that up, and this is what you get when you open it. These programs back here we're not going to worry too much about. We don't really need those. What we're going to be concerned with is model builder up here. So let's open that up, and you get this right here. Now, right here is where you're going to pick the scale that you're working in. So we're working in N scale, which is 1/160th. So we check that box, and we're going to start a new project. So this is what it looks like when you open it up. So what you get with the program are these type things. These are the materials. These are our siding materials. There are doors and windows. These are miscellaneous things. These are siding, bricks, block, stone, whatever you want. They have all kinds of stuff in here. But what we're concerned with is bringing in our images, and that seems to be where people have the hardest trouble. So here we go. You can go up here to the corner here. We're going to click File. We're going to click this. This is very important. We're going to click Import. Okay? Our stuff lives on the desktop, so let's look at the pet store. So we're going to highlight that, and we're going to open it. These are all our images that I've downloaded for the pet store. So let's start with this one. This is the live animals side of the pet store. So let's open that. Okay, so these green lines represent the green lines of the image, the size of the image. So we're going to move this up and fill in this space. So I'm going to move this right up here like that. And then we want to resize it. So there are several ways you can do the measurements within this program. So this says English actual feet. And this actual feet means actual scale feet in N scale. Okay, because we set for 1/160th. So this is 5 feet by 5 feet. You can change that by going here to units, and you can change this to printed size. And then you can change it, and it's a regular actual ruler. And this white surface area is your paper. This is only half the paper to right here, and this will slide all the way across to 8 inches. Alright, and that's how much paper you're working with. So you can see this is quite a small square on a piece of paper. So what we're working with, I'm doing everything in scale actual feet. So these are N scale feet. Now, I've already done this once, so I already know that I want this to be 10 feet high. So I'm stretching this down. I'm grabbing by the center square right here, and we're bringing it down to 10 feet. And then we're going to stretch this out to about 15 feet. Like this. And that's the small animal side of the pet store. Alright, it's very easy. And we're going to go back up to File, Import, and we're going to pick the fish tank side. So this is the aquarium side. And we're going to put that right here. I'm going to line this up to the 20 mark and bring it up to the top. Like that. And stretch this out to 35 for 15 feet and bring this down to match the first one we did at 10 feet. Like that. Now we have the aquarium side. And that's all there is to it. There's really not much more to talk about. What we can do, let's add some more stuff. Let's import the shelving. The store shelves that are going to go in here. Let's open this one and drop that one right here, and let's bring in another one. Import, and let's take the second shelf, open, and let's put that one down here out of the way. Now, just so you know, I mean, these shelves, it doesn't really matter. Like I did pet store interior, and that was basically to get these two images. This is for the, like I said, small animals. This is for the fish. The store shelves could be store shelves from anywhere. They could be a grocery store. They could be anything. It doesn't really matter, because once this gets scaled to size, nobody's going to be able to tell what's on the shelves, and it's just not going to show. you're just not going to be able to know what's on those shelves. Now, if you're working in bigger scales, that might make a difference, but in this instance, it really doesn't. So let's take this other one, move it up here to 60. I like to keep a space between the images so that I know where I'm at. We'll bring this down. Now, this image is clicked on, so this green bar right here goes to this image. And if you watch it, I can drag it down to 10 feet. Like that. And stretch this out 15 feet. So that's the second store shelf, my workbench. We're going to import another image. Import. And we're going to take this image, open, and we're going to put that one right here. Now this one is going to be a freestanding shelf display unit in the middle of the store. I can put a couple of these laying around in there. And the only thing I will say that I want to do is the top of this image right here. I don't want that in the picture. So I'm just going to raise it up and out of the picture like that. And it'll only print what shows in the white border. And then we'll drag the rest of this down to 10 feet. And then we'll copy this again. Now to make a copy of this same image, if I want to make another one of these and I don't want to resize it, all I got to do is right click and then go down to duplicate, and it makes another one exactly the same. It's pretty slick actually. Just like that. And the same with any of these. You can right click and duplicate and make more of what it is you're working on. So let's drag this back over. Now if I want to make sure that these are gonna copy all, be on the same line, well, actually let's so anyway, so this goes like this, and then you'd print that out. Now I will say that this ruler here isn't 100% accurate. Now that's the only downside I see from this that I came up with. It's not completely accurate. Okay, it's close. It gets you in the neighborhood, but it's not completely accurate. So if you were to print this, it may or may not be the right size. So my suggestion, if you're going to do this, is to click File and print a preview on regular paper, just regular printer paper. Cut it out and match it up to your interiors or whatever it is you're doing to make sure the size is right before you waste your good paper, whether it be decal paper or the sticker paper like I'm going to use, and just make sure that it matches up and it's all good. And that saves you some trouble. And let's move on to the next thing. So we're going to go File, New Design. And now it asks if I want to save this. I can save this and reprint new ones anytime I want if I save it, but I'm not going to save it because I've already got it done. So, no. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you was the floors. In order to do the floors, you have to do multiple pieces. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So we're going to go to File, Import, back to the desktop, and we're going to find our Floors folder. And we're going to start with this file right here. And I'm picking this one because it's the easiest one to see. Okay, so let's line this up like we did the other images. Like that. Alright, so the image as it is, if you're looking at this is actual N scale feet, this square is 5 feet by 5 feet. Okay. True flooring, like the real stuff, is more like 12 inch by 12 inch squares. So we need to resize that. So we're gonna here's the downside and what I found out about it. I originally had tried to take this square and just stretch it out to be the size of the flooring in the building, And this is what happens. So let's say the building is 50 feet by 25 feet. Now these squares are 5 feet long by a little over 2 feet high. It's really not going to work. So we need to get those into a size pattern that matches what we're looking for. So we need to do it a little differently. So let's shrink this back down. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing this black square over to the width of this first line. And if you look at it, we're down to about the first line here. So that's about a 1 foot by 1 foot square. So this is what you got to do to make this a full floor of the right scale tiles. So we're going to take this, we're going to right click, and we're going to duplicate it. And I'll do a couple of these. I'll do like 4. And all we're going to do is match up the squares so that the corners, the black corners and the white corners, are touching. Like that. Duplicate. Like that. Okay. And then we're going to take and we're going to hit the control key, hold the control key, and we're going to hit each square. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see it puts a dotted line around all of the squares. So we're going to come up here and we're going to go to arrange. And then align selected right here. Brings you up to this box here. We're going to align them to the top of the screen, the top of the work surface, and we're going to do preview. And if you watch these dotted lines, it'll reset them to all be exactly the same height. They didn't move much because I was actually pretty close on line. But if they are off, it will set them correctly across. And then we're going to click commit and close. So now they're all perfectly straight across, and we set the distance in between each manually, right? So now we want to make another one of these. So we're just going to click anywhere in here, right click, duplicate. And that gives us a whole nother line of those tiles. Like that. Right click, duplicate. And then we have another one. And that's your checkered pattern, and it's all the correct size. At least close enough, you know, for this kind of stuff. And that's all there is to it. Carpet's kind of the same thing. If we start over again, we go File, New Design. No, I don't want to save, so we start new. We go to File, Import, and let's take a carpet and let's lay that up here. So we set that in there. Now you can see there's a small texture to this because it's carpet. If I stretch this out, you can see that it takes that texture and it spreads it all out and it turns into a big blur, and it really doesn't look the same. It doesn't look good anymore. So we're going to put that back. So what I did was I made it a little bit bigger. So I made this one 6 feet by 6 feet. And then the same as the tiles. Duplicate. 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 And all I'm doing is I'm really watching the distance between the tiles here, not up and down. Okay, and then hold control. 1, 2, 3. So now they're all there. And then we go to arrange, align selected, align to the top, preview. It sets them all in a nice straight line, commit and close. And then you right click, duplicate, and bring it down underneath. And you just keep going until you finish the size carpet area that you're looking for. And you have the texture, and it's kind of the right size. It's not all smeared and blurred out, and it looks pretty good. So there you go. That's how you do the tiles and flooring. So why don't we go back to the workbench, and we'll take a look at what we're going to do to deal with all of these images. Alright, so now you see how I came up with the actual backdrops that I did. So let me show you what we come up with those images. These are the pieces that I've made. And what I've done is I've mounted the images to 20,000 styrene, and I put a small block on the back so that I have a gluing surface to glue these down onto. And this is what we end up with. So there's the store shelves. We have 2 of these right here. And you can see at this size it really doesn't matter what's on the shelves. It just needs to show full shelves. So I have 2 of those, and then this right here is the back wall of the pet store. Okay, so what I've done is I've cut out 20,000 styrene here. I cut holes, and then I took, this is the live animal side, and this is the aquarium side that we were looking at in the pictures. And then what I did on the back side is I mounted these backgrounds to 20,000 styrene, and I put a small wooden block in between so they sit back off the background. Okay, back off the wall, so they're not tight to the wall. And then I put another store shelf right up in the front here. And this all gets mounted inside the store. Now, chances are, I know going into this that you're probably not going to be able to see a lot of this detail. But at the same time, I know it's there. If anybody wants to get curious enough to look, I know it's there. So let's take a look at the cell phone store, which is now completed, and see if we can't get you a look inside of there to see what it looks like. So this is what we have, and that is the cell phone store. The glass has been installed, and it's all in there. And that's it. I added some figures inside. And there you go. And then you can see the side displays over there. And you can see that the counter has the display inside the counter, the cell phone display, which is a glass display. And this is what you end up with. And the floor is in there. So that's what we're looking for. That's the whole idea of what we're doing. And let me just go one more step with this. Now, the floors that I did, here's the checkerboard floor right here. And all I did on the sticker paper was I coated this with a coat of clear gloss so that it would be shiny within the store. And then the carpeting I didn't bother with. I left that flat because the sticker paper I have is matte. So I figure if it's a matte finish, I can go either way. I can gloss coat it like this, or I can leave it as a matte for carpet. And that's the whole thing. So hopefully I was able to explain some things and show you how I'm doing things. Oh, and let me show you some other stuff here. This is the sales counter that's going to go within the pet store. Right here. So you can see it has a black countertop, dark wood. And this is the side that's going to show to the window. And all I did was I striped it with black paint first. And then after I put the black stripes on to represent shelves, I just added some dots and colors and things, you know, above and below the lines so that it looks like there's stuff on the shelves. And that's it. And all this is made out of, all right, is some of this. I have balsa wood in strips, and I cut it to a height to match what would be right to an N scale person, which is this right here. And then I just cut the length. So all this is this wood right here, cut to length, and then I added some ends on it here. And then the top, I have the 20,000 styrene. I cut strips out of a sheet and glued that to the top, and just painted the top black, and then this sides here a wood color, and just carried that to the inside. And that's how we end up with all of this. So that's a countertop, very easy to make. And then this one right here is a standing floor display. Okay, it's done on 3 sides, so I printed one of those shelf displays, and I just wrapped it around a 1/4 inch stock of it's not even 1/4 inch. You know, I wrapped it around. Let's see, do I have a piece of it right here? Yeah. So it's a piece of strip wood like this. And we just wrap that around so it's square. Like that. And just wrapped it around. And I cut it for the height and just wrapped the sticker around the 3 sides, because you only need 3 sides. There's only one side that you're never going to see because it's in the interior. And that's the floor standing display. Right there. Here are the other displays. Right here. Another one here. These will go on the sides of the pet store. This one goes on the back of the pet store. This one faces this way in the front window. This is the floor for the whole pet store. And that's pretty much it. And then I'll make a couple more of these freestanding displays, maybe another 1 or 2 of these to move around within the store. I don't know. We need to make it look full, so that, you know, that's what we'll end up with. So anyway, that's the deal. Hopefully you liked what you saw. I think it's going to work out nice. It makes me happy. I like the way it looks. It's better than just a flat photo stuck in there, which also works fine if that's what you're looking for. But I just want to take this a little bit further and see what I can do. And I think what I've got here works out pretty well. So anyway, yeah, so we're going to call that done. I'm going to finish off all the rest of these interiors off camera. I'm not even going to bother. I've taken enough time already. If this is the first time you find me, glad to have you watching. I hope you like what you saw. If you do like it, please subscribe to the channel. Love to have you along for the ride. Lots more stuff going on. I think next week we may look at the lighting for this whole building, if I can get all these interiors done. If you'd like to see more of what I've done, you can visit my website. It's mikestrains.wordpress.com. You can see other stuff I've done on my layout. So that's it for this week. So until next time, happy modeling.